One small belly cracket, everybody! What's up, everyone? Welcome to Shift Happens, where shift happens. Everyone, welcome. I'm pretty sure that hurts your ear, but yes,
Yeah.
welcome, everyone. Welcome. All right, so glad to have you guys
We're
here.
black today.
I know. I like the outfit. All triple, quadruple black.
Yeah.
Except our shoes.
Yeah, our shoes are multicolored.
Alright, what's up, everyone? Okay, hope that you guys are doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we hope you guys are doing well. We hope that you guys are doing great. Alright, it's been a chill weather.
Yeah, it's actually
Chill,
pretty
chill.
inconsistent.
Yes, that's true.
It's
That's
hot and
true.
cold.
Hot and cold. But I think there is a
There's no storm, but it's just
No, right?
habagat,
Habagat,
right?
yeah.
Low pressure.
But
Whoa.
did you hear the thunder
Power wave.
last night?
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a strong one.
Actually, yesterday was so odd because it's orange outside.
When
It was orange outside.
when it did that thunder, I was waiting for it to go brown out already. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was so strong. I'm like, this is gonna go brown out, isn't it? And then it didn't. So okay, thank God. Miracles do happen.
Yeah.
Miracles do happen. Hey, all right. We welcome you to Shift Happens, of course. All right, it's always good to be here. I think this is the last
Of the month.
of the month. All right, of the month for the month of
September.
September. This is the last one. Okay, so it's cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, I
It's
want to say early Merry Christmas to you guys.
yes. All right, early Merry Christmas to everyone who's watching with us.
Yeah.
Right? Has anybody set up their Christmas trees yet?
The thing is, my parents said that this year they're not gonna
They're
set up
not gonna set it
because
up.
it's so
So
exhausting.
hassle.
Yeah, so
I
hassle
see,
just
I
for
see, I
one
see.
night. And like, bro, it's gonna spike up that electric bill.
I know, I know. Anyone else who has already placed out their Christmas tree or even put out some Christmas lights?
Yeah,
Just Christmas lights, right?
nah.
Anyone in the comment? I think I I do not know where we placed ours. That's the thing.
Mm.
I do not know. I have zero clue.
I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not even sure if my mom is gonna put up because we have a parole.
Uh-huh.
We have one, but I don't know if mom's gonna set that up. as well.
Set it up as well. I
At
do
least
not
that.
like recall where all of those things were placed.
Mhm.
I am pretty sure they are
Somewhere.
somewhere, somewhere in the house, and I don't know if we are gonna use it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know, because I think they brought the Christmas tree home in the province.
Ah.
If I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely 100% sure. But yes, there's that. Okay, so hey, we're talking about stay positive still. Right,
Uh-huh.
stay positive still. We're talking about I'm enthusiastic.
Ew. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic.
I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive.
alert, awake. I'm awake, alert, alive. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic.
Hey!
I feel so old.
Alright, I know. It's like I haven't sang that song in ages. Alright. So we're going to talk about I'm enthusiastic. Alright, of course, this is the last topic for stay positive.
Mhm.
Alright. So, we'll talk about two types of people. Alright. Two types of people in this world. There are two types of people. I think that this one applies to everyone's life. I think no one is excluded from this. I
Mhm.
think you are either one of these
One of
two
these.
things.
Can't be both.
Yeah, it can be both.
Yeah.
Right? Number one is first type of person is you let the environment determine your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm. Alright? That's one. Alright? You let the environment determine your enthusiasm.
Mhm.
Number two, those whose enthusiasm changes their environment. Right? Again, two types of different people. One that lets the environment determine their enthusiasm, while those whose enthusiasm changes others' environment,
Yeah.
right, or their environment. All
Or
right.
which one are you?
Uh huh.
Which one are you?
I don't know. I think only.
I feel like I'm the one that changes the vibe of
Uh
others.
huh. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
like
so. It's true.
I ask my friends, hey, if I go absent in classes, like, how's class? They're like, it's boring.
Boring.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
they have someone to talk to.
To talk about. Yeah, I mean, like it's great to have that. That's what I was about to say. Like, I don't think I can determine it for myself. I think if I ask other people, I think
Mm.
that's how I would know, right? You know, there's enthusiasm, right? It can run in many different directions. It's not just enthusiasm. What's the first thing that comes? Oh, it's encouraging technically,
Yeah.
all right. But no, enthusiasm is something different, right? Enthusiasm is something different, all right. Encouraging is also something different. They're not the same things, all right. By um, textbook definition of enthusiasm and encouraging. They're two different things, right? On textbook, right? Textbook definition, right? It's like this. Okay, what is the difference between motivation and enthusiasm? All right, motivation is the driving force behind your action. So it is, what propels you, what pushes you. Enthusiasm is the eagerness to act.
Yeah.
All right, motivation is what pushes you.
Makes you do the thing.
Enthusiasm is what you know you acting. So it's like the action word. All right, it's the action word.
So like motivation is the thought.
Yes. All right. The thought of pushing, and
Enthusiasm
enthusiasm
is
is
like
the
the
act,
action.
the action. All right. Enthusiasm, spiritual enthusiasm,
Enthusiasm.
enthusiasm. All right.
Say that 5 times.
Entheos. All right. in uh in Latin, I'm pretty sure this is where it came from. Entheos, it means in God or
Mm.
filled with God. All right, 1 Corinthians 15, verse 57 to 58 says, "But thank God, He gives us victory over sin and death through our Lord Jesus Christ. So, my dear brothers and sisters, be strong and immovable, always abounding enthusiastically for the Lord. All right, for you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless." All right,
I remember this verse.
I know. All right, 1 Corinthians 15:58. Okay, all right. Yeah, work for the Lord. Work for the people you're surrounded by, right? Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as
Mhm.
working for the Lord, not for human masters. Colossians 3:23. Enthusiasm is not a product of the environment as much as posture of the heart, all right?
Mhm.
Right? That's, you have to understand that your enthusiasm shouldn't be based on your environment because again, we live in a relatively negative world.
Mm.
All right, we live in this world where everything or a lot of things is perceived to as negative. All right,
Yeah.
let's say when you go check the news, it's negative. When you go check newspapers, it's negative.
Negative.
When you go check, um,
The whole world is filled with
the whole
negativity.
world is filled with negativity, and anywhere you look left, you
Yeah.
look right.
It's
There's
negativity.
there's gonna be something negative that you might pick up, and it's not a good thing, obviously, right? It's not a
Mhm.
good thing that you get to pick up these things. It's not a fun thing that you get to pick up these things, but but that's life, right? That's life. We are how do I say this? We are going to be
Exposed.
huh?
Exposed.
Yeah, exposed will be met by negativity, whether we like it or not. And I think as humans, all right, as children of God, number one, all right, we ought to we ought to see, all right, we ought to um, use our enthusiasm, shape or redefine our environment, not our environment defining our enthusiasm. All right? Because
Mm.
again, just like Paul, the Apostle Paul, Paul was stoned to death,
Prison.
imprisoned, bitten by a snake. All right? Paul has experienced it. All right? But he doesn't let his environment, all right, stop him from being the man of God he was called to be. And it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing with us. All right, we are, we are. God has great and amazing plans for each and every one of us. So let's not, let us not waste. Let us not put that to waste. Let us not like go around and say, "Hey, all right, all right, I can, I can let my environment define me." No, all right? You
Yeah.
define your environment, right? You redefine, you reshape it. Because again, you're called for great things, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And there will always be something in the world that would try to weigh you down. There'll always be something that would try to, push you down or keep you in rock bottom, all right? There's always going to be that. Again, whatever you do it with all your heart, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's born out of a good heart, all right? Born out of spiritual intimacy. It's an overflow. That's what enthusiasm is. And the entheos of David, all right, in God, all right? Entheos, that's what it means, in God, right? David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear, all right? Um, with sword and spear, all right, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver, all right, will deliver you into my hands. I'll strike you down and cut you off your head. All right? This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the world will know that there is a God in Israel." 1 Samuel 17:45 to 46. This is when um, David challenged Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is, and you do just imagine David's enthusiasm, right? Standing up against Goliath, right? The soldier everyone feared,
Yeah.
right? Everyone feared Goliath because he was huge, all right? And I'm pretty sure he knows how to fight, all right? I am pretty sure about that.
I mean, he's
He is
the
a
chosen.
warrior. He's the
Yeah.
chosen warrior after all. But yeah, he knows how to fight, all right? And just imagine the courageousness, all right, that David has. And we should take that to ourselves too as we face life.
Mm.
Because again, there'll always be this huge overqualified mountain that would get to us. But we have to understand, like, God has, so much in store. God has so much prepared for each and every one of us, and we just ought to, like win and take life to, yeah, win at life, win where we are called. All right, that's what God's calling us to do.
Yeah.
All right. See, where did David's enthusiasm come from? He trusted God daily. All right. Remember when he fought the lion to protect his sheep, when he fought the bear to protect his sheep. All right. God delivered them. All right. Okay. God delivered them. Even Saul. All right. All right. He walked with God daily. First one, he trusted God daily. Next, he walked with God daily. The Lord is his shepherd, right? It's not his Sunday church. God is not his, Sunday church. God is not just, someone, he goes to when he needs something. No, God trusted him daily. He walked with God daily. The Lord is his shepherd. Right? He trusts God that much that he lets God lead him. A lot of times, right, we do not want anyone bossing us around or leading us around. Why? It's not a good feeling to have someone,
yeah.
like, oh, do this, do that. It's not the best feeling to, to receive, right? But God, right, David rather walked with God, right? Lastly, he worshiped God daily, all right? He worshiped God, all right? He worshiped God with all of his might. That's the kind of person David was, right? He's when he was able to build this enthusiasm on God, all right? On God, all right? It's because he knows what God can do, right? He knows that God will deliver them. He knows that God will make a way, right? Imagine having to go up and fight this huge guy, right? This huge guy. Like, even just let's say, Christian, what if I told you I'd give you the world, just fight John Jones, who is the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, standing
I have a
in
question.
six something, with around 200 plus pounds.
How will I fight him though?
You're fighting him MMA in the cage.
Yeah. Like, do I have to fist fight? Do I have
Yeah.
a weapon?
No,
Just
this
fist
fight,
fight?
UFC.
Oh, that's boring.
Right?
Man, it's just like in the middle of fight, you just whip out a gun.
Right? It's
Or a knife.
it's but that's the type of person David was. Right? That's how he was able to build this enthusiasm on God. That's the reason why he was able to say that, hey, I know my God will deliver me in Israel because he has done the same thing for me for so many times. All right? He worshiped, right? He sensed God's presence. He praised. God answered. All right? Again, trusting God, walking with God, worshiping God. Lastly, when you get that, you become filled with God. Two seasons of David's life was when he was a kid and when he was a king. All right? In verse 48 of 1 Samuel 17, it says here, as Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. All right? No fear, he ran out as well. All right? You know that scene in Avengers, I know, Captain America Civil War, where they charged on each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the battlefield, in the airport in Germany. All right? That's what
I haven't watched it.
that's what happened, all right? David charged in as well, all right? As Goliath ran, all right, closer to David, David ran close as well, reaching into his shepherd's bag and taking out some stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. The stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell face down on the ground. In the spring, right, at the time when kings go off to war, David sent Joab out from with the king's men and the whole Israelite army. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. All right. With enthusiasm, David ran into the battle to serve his God. With apathy, David walked on the roof to serve his comfort. That was the difference when David was a kid and when he was a king. All right. How did a man who had such enthusiasm lose it as a king? All right. How did someone, all right,
How did
with
someone?
as much enthusiasm as David, all right, who is as a young boy, goes out and charges straight, all right,
Lose it all?
lose it, all right. How does he lose it? Okay, how does he lose it? All right. Let's think about it. David was the warrior, right?
Yeah,
If there's a warrior in the Bible that I would bet my lines on,
Famous one.
it would be David, all right? Imagine, right? David in his prime is like, Levi or something. I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know what that guy had in him, but like David was the dog.
Yeah.
David was him. All right? David was him. Okay? How did a man who had so much enthusiasm as a kid lose it as a king? He took his eyes off his calling and put it on his comfort. All right? Which best represents you? Are you charging into a spiritual battle? All right. Revelations 2:45. Yet I hold this against you. You have forsaken the love you had at first. Consider how far you've fallen. Repent and do the things you did at first. Again, trust, walk, and worship. David cried out, all right, in Psalm 51. He cried out, all right. He says here, create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Restore me to the joy of your salvation, and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. JC, all right, Jesus Christ saved my soul. Enthusiasm is not a product of environment as much as a posture of the heart. Think about how enthusiasm would change the climate around you. You serve God, all right. You do your best, right? You go home, you watch TV, you play on your phone, right? We are going to have a blast tonight, all right. Do you want to go to church today? I can't wait for church, all right. Again, we're talking about stay positive, right? And I think that a lot of times we just think that stay positive is so have to smile or no. There's again we talked about encouragement. Now we're talking about enthusiasm. It all goes hand in hand, right? Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. We should realize that, as we live our lives, no matter how young we are, right, no matter how young you are, whatever it is we're doing, we're studying, we're working, we're courting someone,
Doing our daily lives.
doing our daily lives, studying, doing chores, walking, driving, grocery. All right, let's remember that we can stand with enthusiasm as young people as well, or as young people as well. We can go around and about and say, hey, God, thank you. I trust you. I lift up to you my life. I lift up to you my friend's life, right? Because I trust you. I know
Yeah.
that you have a great plan and purpose, all right? Those things are, what can help us go and through. Most especially this time, we're finishing the year. Right, we're finishing the
Already.
year already. Just a couple more months, 3 months.
Mhm.
All right, after the month of September, then we're done. It's gonna be a new year again. Right, so let's end this one with a positive note. Let's end it on a positive note. Let's end it now. Hey, God's gonna move. God's gonna work in my life, and I'm positive. Right, I'm trusting God on. I'm banking on it. I'm banking that God will do something.
Mhm.
Amen. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. All right, we shall see you guys next month.
Next month.
All right,
Next
thank you
week.
guys. Next week, just next week. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Shift Happens.
Where Shift
Where Shift
Happens.
Happens. Welcome to BUF Youth, everyone. If you're new here, we love you guys. Peace out, everybody.